The neighbors who testified at the trial said they hadn't heard a thing. The trial accepted that the assailant had been a stranger. None of us testified about what we had heard. One of us had heard more than the rest. My neighbor, Mrs. Pearson, was 78 years old. She had lived in the house next to mine for 32 years. She had been a kindergarten teacher in the local district before she retired. Her husband had passed in 2014. She lived alone with a small dog. She was the kind of person who waved when you got the mail and brought cookies in November. My son Eric is 28. He has had a hard adulthood. He left college after one semester. He has worked a series of inconsistent jobs. He has had 2 drug-related arrests, both of which were resolved through diversion programs. He has, since 2022, been doing landscape and lawn work for elderly neighbors in our area for cash. Mrs. Pearson was one of them. In April of 2024, Mrs. Pearson and Eric had a dispute about money. She had been paying him $40 a week to mow her lawn. She had decided to switch to a service that was cheaper. She had told Eric the previous Saturday that she would not need him after the end of the month, and she had still owed him for the last 2 weeks, which came to $80. By her telling later, she had given him cash for one of the weeks and forgotten the other. By his telling, she had stiffed him for both. On a Tuesday evening at 8 in the spring of last year, Eric went to her house to ask for the money. He had been drinking. The conversation escalated. Mrs. Pearson told him to leave. Eric did not leave. I was in my kitchen with the window open. Our kitchen window faces Mrs. Pearson's kitchen window. The night was warm enough that her window was open too. I heard the shouting start at about 8:10. I heard Mrs. Pearson tell Eric to leave. I heard Eric tell her to give him the money. I heard a glass break. I heard Mrs. Pearson scream, and I am being specific about the word. She screamed, "Help me please, somebody." I knew the voice yelling at her was Eric's voice. I had known Eric's voice since he was 4. I had been his father at Little League games where he had yelled himself raw. There was nothing to confuse in the voice. I did not pick up the phone. I want to say this out loud. I did not pick up the phone. I sat at the kitchen table. I listened. I told myself I should call. I told myself I should go over. I told myself a lot of things in 25 minutes while a woman 78 years old was being beaten on the other side of a hedge. The screaming stopped at 8:28. There were 5 more minutes of less identifiable noises. Then Eric left through her back door. I saw him from the kitchen window. He walked across her backyard, through the hedge, across my driveway, and got into his truck and drove away. At 8:37 I called 911. I told the operator I had seen Mrs. Pearson's front door open and I was worried about her. I told the operator I had not seen or heard anything else. The paramedics arrived in 7 minutes. Mrs. Pearson was unconscious on her kitchen floor. She survived. She is in a long-term care facility now. She does not speak much. The police interviewed me 3 times. I told them I had heard nothing. I told them I had been watching television in the back of the house. I told them I had not recognized any of the cars or people on the street that evening. They believed me. Eric was identified through his truck on a neighbor's Ring camera. He was arrested 2 days later. He pled guilty and took a 14-year sentence. He did not name me. Eric is at a state prison 3 hours from here. I visit him once a month. He has never asked whether I was in the kitchen that night. He has never asked whether I heard. I have not told him I did. What would you have done? Tell me in the comments.